Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back ranking all 5 movies in the Purge franchise. The Purge is a franchise I actually watched for the very first time for Franchise Frenzy. It's crazy to think that that was late last year around this time, but it's already been that long. Wow. This here is The Purge Season 1 on DVD, but Jason and I are not including the TV series in this ranking. Both of us will only be including the 5 films. Like with all of my other rankings, I will start with my least favorite and work my way to my favorite Purge movie. And as I always like to remind you, I base my decisions on criteria such as nostalgia, rewatchability, and overall enjoyment. Of course, with this being a fairly new franchise for me, nostalgia really won't play a role with this one. It will simply come down to which of the movies I enjoy the most. Rewatchability will be a factor though. Jason's ranking may and probably will be different from mine, so please be sure to check out his video as well. Also, keep in mind, this is just my personal opinion, and you don't have to agree or even understand. So, here we go. This is The Purge Ranked. In last place, or 5th place in this franchise, I unfortunately have to go with The First Purge, which is not actually the first Purge movie, but the 4th Purge movie. It's just called The First Purge. That's because this film chronicles the first Purge in the movie universe. While I do like that aspect of it, there are just things about this one I don't particularly remember. I do love sort of the murderous maniac on the loose in this one. That's probably my favorite part of the film. But ultimately, The First Purge is the least memorable for me. And that's why I have it in last place. In 4th place, I have The Purge Election Year. Now, the interesting thing about this sequel is I have sort of a personal connection to it, because it was filmed not far from where I live. I used to pass by the shooting locations all the time on my way to and from work. I witnessed some of the filming at night, and that was really cool to see. My brother, who worked at a restaurant at the time, also served Frank Grillo, who stars in the film. The whole election year concept is definitely fitting for this franchise, and it's the reason why Jason and I decided to rank this series today, just days before Election Day. But what it really comes down to is I just don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy the other 3 above it on my ranking. So The Purge Election Year comes in at number 4. Next up, I have the original, The Purge, in 3rd place. This was the movie that launched the franchise, and honestly, it's much different from the others. While the 4 sequels take us out into the night, The Purge keeps us locked inside with the main characters. This Purge is more of a defensive Purge compared to the others. It stars Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey, who plays Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones. The Purge just hits differently because at this point it was a fresh idea. I love how most of it is set inside the house. There is this feeling of impending doom throughout the film. I remember watching this, and with it being the first one, obviously not having seen the sequels yet, and thinking, it can't get much better than this. This will probably be my favorite Purge film. But that's how things work out sometimes, because I currently have it at number 3, preferring 2 other Purge movies over it. And that includes The Forever Purge at number 2, which is the 5th and most recent movie in the franchise. I know a lot of people actually have this one ranked dead last in the series, but I really enjoyed it. This one finally tackled a topic I had been thinking about while watching the first 4 films. What if the Purge didn't end? How would they stop the Purgers from continuing after sunrise? Well, the Forever Purge covers that concept, and I loved it. This one also has a really good cast, including Josh Lucas and Will Patton. The Forever Purge has some good emotional moments. And simply put, I just found it highly entertaining. The Forever Purge is in second place, which means the second film in the series, The Purge Anarchy, is my #1 favorite movie in the Purge franchise. This one gets a lot of bonus points because of what I already explained. When I watched the original film, I thought, it can't get better than this. And then we watched the sequel. Damn, I guess it can get better, I thought. Anarchy introduces us to Frank Grillo's Sergeant character, and I wish he was in all of the films. This sequel also stars Zach Gilford, who many will probably know as Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights. He was one of my favorite characters in that show, so I loved seeing him in this. Just like I said about the Forever Purge, the Purge Anarchy has some emotional moments. It's a nice contrast to the exciting violence throughout the movie. I'm one of those people who, if asked, will always recommend others starting with the first film of a franchise to introduce them to it. I just think it's almost always best to start with the original. But in this case, one could definitely argue that The Purge Anarchy is a great example of the series. So if you really wanted to hook someone into it, this wouldn't be the worst place to start. The following 3 films, Election Year, The First Purge, and The Forever Purge, follow the formula created in this one more than they do with the original. When all is said and done, The Purge Anarchy is the film in this franchise I've been thinking about most since first watching it. For me, I think it wins in the rewatchability category. And regardless of anything else, I just enjoyed it the most. The Purge Anarchy is my #1 favorite movie in the Purge franchise. So, there you have it, guys. My ranking of all 5 movies in the Purge franchise. What do you think? How would you rank these films? Comment below and let me know. Please don't forget to check out Jason's video to see how he has The Purge Ranked. Which franchise will we rank next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.